Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Ptony, your friendly Catholic vlogger. Quick context, there was this March for Life thing this last Saturday, and Trump spoke at this March for Life. I think that it was a good thing that Trump spoke at the March for Life. Now, it seems like it wouldn't be good for Trump to talk at the March for Life because in order to end abortion, we need to change culture. And the only way we can change culture is if we propose a culture of life that is logically consistent and unified. But Trump's controversial actions are neither conducive to unity nor harmonious with a logically consistent culture of life. Therefore, it was not good for Trump to talk at the March for Life. And that's a beautiful argument, and I think that it's how a lot of people see this issue, and I can empathize with it. However, I think it's wrong. Let's take a step back for a second. The March for Life has a mission statement. It's an organization that has a mission statement, and I love mission statements. So let's take a second to read theirs, shall we? Quote, "The mission of the March for Life is to provide all Americans with a place to testify to the beauty of life and the dignity of each human person." Both in January, on the anniversary of legalized abortion in the US, and throughout the year, we bring together pro-life leaders and groups to organize, unite, and strategize around a common message, and to communicate this message to the government, the media, and the nation in a way that is powerful and life-affirming. End quote. There's a lot to sift through in that mission statement. I'm a big fan of it, but I can't sift through everything, so I'm just going to draw out two things. First, I notice a subtle thread of legal/political language throughout the mission statement. For example, provide all Americans with a place to testify. Testify strikes me as, if we're not talking about talking behind a pulpit, then court, legal things, it's more of a legal word. You don't have to like that one. On the anniversary of legalized abortion, the March for Life group talks about how they do things throughout the year, but specifically on this anniversary of legalized abortion, that's a big deal. And they say they communicate a message to three groups, the government, the media, and the nation. I notice in that specific list, government is mentioned first. There are a lot of dimensions to the pro-life movement. One of those dimensions, and a very large dimension at that, is the legal political dimension. There are a lot of people that are working really, really hard to make abortion illegal. Because imagine if abortion was illegal. A lot fewer babies would be aborted. How legal/political is the March for Life? I don't know. But I imagine that they empathize with the legal and political dimension of the movement. After all, they organize a march every year on the anniversary of a legal proceeding in Washington, D.C. So for those pro-lifers that are fighting these legal and political battles for us, day in and day out, wouldn't getting the President of the United States to talk at the March for Life be a bit of a victory point? Second thing I'm highlighting in the mission statement, there's a lot of open-ended language in there. For example, at the beginning they talk about how they're creating a place so that people can testify. Testify to what? Well, to the beauty of life and the dignity of the human person. That could honestly mean a broad range of things. What is the March for Life communicating when they talk about communicating things? They're communicating a common message. And how are they communicating this common message? In a way that is powerful and life-affirming. Gosh, that's so ambiguous. Basically, anybody could use that mission statement. As long as they're against abortion. And that, I think, is precisely the point. As long as you're against abortion, you can fit in at this march. That resonates with me because there are a lot of people that are pro-life that come from a lot of different backgrounds. For example, there are fundamental Christians and there are gay pride activists. There are seamless garment pro-lifers and there are pro-lifers who support the death penalty. There are a lot of people that are pro-life that cannot stand each other. A lot of them can't stand me, and I can't stand a lot of them. But abortion is a big enough issue that I will put aside those differences. So back to the question of creating a unified culture of life that's logically consistent, I totally support that. Please, every person who's pro-life should be logically consistent and figure out what their worldview is. But I also know that everybody in the pro-life movement is not going to be on board with all of my positions about all the different issues in the world. I'll disagree with a lot of pro-lifers as soon as we start talking about immigration or the death penalty or welfare programs. But while we're marching for life, I'll join hands with whoever is there. Especially because there are a lot of really cute girls that are pro-life, and golly gee, I'm still single. On that note, God bless and ciao. I just want to take a second and acknowledge that I've said a lot of controversial things today, and please feel free to disagree with me. A lot of people that I respect the most in the world disagree with a lot of things that I said today, and it's fine. In fact, it can be really a positive experience to disagree with someone. So since it's one of those things that a lot of people have a lot of different thoughts on, help me start, a positive, constructive conversation. I only have one rule: don't tilt and don't get tilted. Is that 2 rules? I don't know. No tilting. That's the rule. No tilting. If I see any tilting going on, I'm going to censor you at my discretion. I don't care if I agree with you. I don't care if I disagree with you. I don't want any tilting at all. I will censor. How can we make this a place of constructive dialogue? Those places are really hard to find on the internet. We have a couple tips. First, if you agree with me, share this with someone else who you think might like this video. Or if you disagree with me, share this with someone else that will also disagree with me so that, you have backup. State your positions and why you have those positions down in the comment section. Reply to other people's positions and why they came to those positions down in the comment section. But very importantly, at any point, if you feel this bubbling rage inside of you, that's a good time to step back and wait until things simmer down. You can come back and have something to say, and I want to hear your position, because if you feel that anger inside, there's probably something that's being overlooked that we need to acknowledge and try to fit into the problem and into the solution. That is why constructive dialogue is so great, because everybody has values that they bring to the table, and we get to dig deep down and see where do these values come from. And ultimately, I believe that the truth is reasonable. I believe that this world can be a good place. I mean, in a limited sense. But getting angry about all the things doesn't help make that happen. It makes things worse. So help me out. Help me out. You're the best. I trust in you. All right, I'm rambling. I'll see you in the comment section. Bye.